Las Vegas on a big fight weekend is a scene like no other. Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley are locked in for their rematch in 24 hours. But tonight, you'll hear from both fighters as we get the weekend started with hot Mexican super middleweight prospect Gilberto Ramirez headlining in our main event. It's Friday Night Fights live from the Mandalay Bay. Welcome inside the Mandalay Bay. It is Friday Night Fights brought to you by Corona Extra. We'll get you started with our first bout in just a minute, but let's talk about what happened earlier here in Las Vegas, right across the street at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. It was the weigh-in for Pacquiao Bradley 2. It takes place tomorrow night. Bradley and Pacquiao both no problem making weight. Pacquiao 145 and ripped. Bradley 145 and a half. They talked smack afterwards. At least Timothy Bradley did during the stare down. Manny, true to form, just smiled and laughed. We'll hear from both these fighters. Bernardo Osuna speaks to them exclusively later here on Friday Night Fights, and Teddy Atlas will give us his pick. As for our main event tonight, Gilberto Ramirez, 27-0, 21 knockouts, taking on Giovanni Lorenzo in a super middleweight 10-rounder. That's coming up later. But first, it's our co-main event, and both the competitors are in the ring right now. Samuel Clarkson, known as the main event. Tonight he'll have to settle for the co-main event. He has a record of 10-2 with 6 knockouts, has won 3 consecutive bouts. His opponent, a perfect 12-0, Jesse Hard Work Hart. He has 10 knockouts. This is the first time he's in a scheduled 8-rounder. We'll see if it goes that far. He wants an early knockout, and he knows how to get them. 7 of his 10 knockout wins have come in the first round. It's now time to look like a champ, brought to you by Just for Men. Teddy, what do you expect here in the first fight?
Well, I'll tell you what I expect, Todd. Hart, go set up a big right hand and then go home. Clarkson, your best and maybe your only chance is to land the right hook out of that southpaw stance. So go land it.
Make it sound so easy, Teddy.
Practice.
You received your instruction in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you. Any punch below this point, going to be called low. Any punch below this point, going to be called low. That said, I want you to obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up now. Good luck to both of you.
Clarkson's supposed to be here as an opponent for the promoter's unbeaten prospect. We'll see whether or not he read that memo.
Well, Clarkson said that he did his research on Jesse Hart. Says that Hart likes to talk a lot of trash. People are scared of him, but not me. I promise a great fight tonight. We'll see if Samuel main event Clarkson can deliver against the favorite, Jesse Hard Work Hart. If you're wondering where Hard Work came from as far as his nickname, it's because, according to Jesse, trainers have had to pull him back, Teddy, because he just works too hard in the gym.
Yeah, you don't want to overtrain. You don't want to leave it in the gym, but you like the attitude. But that's where the trainer's job comes in, to regulate things, to overlook things, make the right decisions. Clarkson, as you can see, southpaw. Right hands usually land on southpaws. Hart likes his right hand. Depends on it, looks for it.
Speaking of hard work, Teddy, what, 66 radio interviews you've done this week getting us ready for Pacquiao Bradley? Or are you okay? You sure you can make it the entire 2 hours tonight?
Yeah, I'm on FM right now.
I was more of an AM guy myself.
Hart has been carefully managed and matched, Todd. The same here. The promoter and Hart's people they picked an opponent that they feel, doesn't mean they're right, they feel he will handle on national TV. We'll see whether or not they're right.
Hart's father and trainer is Eugene Cyclone Hart, a former middleweight contender himself, retired in '82 with a record of 39-1. 28 knockouts.
Yeah, he was a great puncher, great left hook, Eugene Cyclone Hart. And he was around the 70s, the 80s in Philadelphia, where Philadelphia was the home of great middleweights. Guys like Benny Briscoe, Willie the Worm Monroe. I mean, so many great heavy middleweights, and Hart was one of them, and he was the best puncher out of all. One of the best punchers maybe ever in boxing. I mean, that's how good a puncher Eugene Cyclone Hart, the father of Jesse Hart, was. He hit you on top of the head with that left hook. He fractured your ankles.
And of course, the fighter out of Philadelphia that has managed to beat Father Time, Bernard Hopkins, still going strong. Hart says that's one of his heroes, Hopkins. Clarkson doing his best here to stay aggressive, stay on the front foot here against Hart. And we encourage you, if you're watching at home, or basically wherever you're watching, go on to the Friday Night Fights Facebook page, judge the round using our scoring app. We'll update you throughout the fight. You can match your scorecard to the man sitting to my right, Teddy Atlas.
And right now, talking about scoring, Hart's not looking really to score with the jab, which he should. He's looking to use it more to set up the right hand against Clarkson. One of the reasons maybe Hart's not using the jab to snap it, do more damage, he's fighting southpaw. Hard to feel comfortable when you're an orthodox fighter using your jab with a southpaw.
So Jesse Hard Work Hart will not get a first round knockout tonight. Sitting ringside with Teddy Atlas, my name is Todd Grisham. We're getting ready for our main event tonight. Gilberto Ramirez out of Mexico. A lot of hype surrounding this youngster, Teddy.
Yeah, there is a lot of hype. And look, when you come from a country like Mexico that's so steep in the history of boxing, the history of great fighters. I mean, boxing is a religion in Mexico. And the list goes on and on of great fighters. So the question is, when you're 27-0 and you're Ramirez, and now you're a southpaw and you're tall and you're lanky and you have 21 knockouts, well, it's an obvious question. It's the only question that would be there when you come out of Mexico. Are you the one? Are you the next one? The next Chavez? The next Canelo? And then you can go on and on. We're going to get a peek at Mr. Ramirez tonight and find out. You at home, do you think he's the one? Is he the next really good Mexican fighter? Maybe the next great Mexican fighter? I don't know. That might be too much right now, but it's interesting.
Well, Ramirez certainly thinks a lot of himself since he's wearing a T-shirt with himself on it.
Yes, that doesn't make you Colombo, but yeah. I would say that says he has a little bit of an ego. I'm going to agree with you, partner.
Thank you. Would have preferred Sherlock Holmes, but Colombo works too.
I love Colombo with that raincoat. Ah, the best.
Hart wearing the black trunks with white trim. Clarkson black with purple trim. Both these athletes in their early 20s. Clarkson 23, Hart 24. Hart says it's a dream of his to fight on ESPN. Could have been on a fight card this weekend in Philadelphia, but chose to be here on national TV, making his debut tonight. Feels he has the style that will bring in boxing fans. We haven't seen much of that excitement so far from Hart, though. This fight at 168 pounds, so too is our main event tonight between Lorenzo and Ramirez. So if you like super middleweights, this show is for you.
All but one of the fights for Clarkson in his career have been in his hometown of Texas. We'll see how he travels.
Hart trying to pick up the pace here, landed a nice 1-2 combination.
Clarkson's father was a Marine. We thank him for that. Thank him for his commitment to the country. And Clarkson was born on a military base, so you know that he's got discipline. He's been brought up with discipline, and you would think mentally, you'd think he'd be mentally tough and be able to deal with an undefeated fighter, not be intimidated. And so far, has not been intimidated.
Clarkson claims to be naturally right-handed, and yet fights from a southpaw position.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. I mean,
a nice right hand stuck in there from Clarkson, and momentarily, Hart was stunned.
Well, I was just going to say, if he's naturally a right-hander, that's his dominant hand, Clarkson, then you know what? The right hand, the right hook, would be his power punch.
A flash of power there from Clarkson, and all of a sudden, Hart may have more on his plate than he bargained for.
A lot of people believe that if you're naturally right-handed, you should fight in the southpaw stance. Why not put the dominant hand out front where you're going to use it more.
So a nice competitive fight so far to open up Friday Night Fights. Tomorrow is the main course. Pacquiao Bradley 2 over at the MGM, but we hope you're enjoying our appetizer tonight here on ESPN. Teddy Atlas over at the MGM earlier today with tonight's fight plan, which you'll see in its entirety coming up. I read your book. Didn't you get in a fist fight in that very MGM lobby with somebody?
Let's concentrate on this fight right here.
Many years ago.
That's the key. Many years ago.
Clarkson, the best punch of the fight so far. It came in the second round, a right hand, which caught Hart off guard.
I still have Hart winning both rounds. Controlling the pace, controlling the flow. Putting his hands out there, touching Clarkson a lot more than Clarkson is touching Hart.
Neither Samuel Clarkson nor Jesse Hart has been in an 8-round fight. And what's the difference when you're training a fighter between getting him ready for a 6-rounder and an 8-rounder, besides the obvious extra 6 minutes in the ring?
Yeah, not much difference. I mean, you might go a few extra rounds to sparring, just, you know, not only for the physical benefit, a little warning there by the ref, but for the psychological benefit, just to let them know in the gym that they've gone those rounds. So when they get in the ring, they have that taken care of. They're not worried about getting to that point, you know, getting past those rounds. Both these fighters, neither one have been past 6 rounds, as you alluded to. Both these fighters have been, you know, I talked about Hart's people matching him carefully. Both these fighters have really been matched fairly carefully. Clarkson, only 5 of his 12 opponents have winning records. And then you look at Hart, only 4 of his 12 opponents had winning records. So they've been in soft for the most part. Both of them in tough for tonight.
For a while there, it appeared that the difference in class was beginning to show as Hart starting to work his magic a little better against Clarkson, who's had a little bit of trouble figuring out so far in the first 2 rounds.
Well, he's looking to work magic, Hart. The wand, the magic wand is the left hand. You know, he's not snapping out, still not snapping out, because I think he feels a little bit off because there's a southpaw in front of him. He doesn't feel comfortable snapping out yet, but he's moving it like a wand. You know, he's trying to mesmerize Clarkson. He's trying to set him up, distract him a little bit for that big punch, the right hand.
Look at those total jabs thrown. Hart 105 to Clarkson, who had just 1 that's connected. So Hart definitely winning the jab battle at least.
I wish we had a category, or we had a separation of that where we could show not only jabs but effective jabs. Because a lot of times guys throw jabs. They're moving the left hand out, kind of like a wand, you know, kind of like measuring a guy, but they're not really snapping. It's not really effective.
Cut it out. You understand me? Both of you. Time for both of you. You guys got too much talent to engage in that. Next time it's going to be a point for neither one of you, okay? Box.
Welcome back inside the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino. Coming up immediately following this fight, we'll hear from Bernardo Osuna as he sat down with Timothy Bradley, getting set for Bradley Pacquiao 2 tomorrow night live from right here in Las Vegas. As for us, it's our opening bout, our co-main event between Samuel main event Clarkson and Jesse Hard Work Hart. And so far, it appears that the Philadelphia fighter Hart has been in control for the most part through 3 full rounds.
Yeah, where he's not in control is he gives up his height. He's going to have to learn that. Father's going to have to teach him that. And I'm talking about Hart. You see a minute ago, you're going to see it again probably. When he throws that right hand, he falls in. He's a taller guy, longer guy. He should plant. See, he falls in. Falls in with that right hand all the time. Not a good thing, because now you fall into the distance and the position of your opponent where now he can counter you. When you're taller and longer, what the heck good is it, Mr. Todd, if you can't stand outside and keep that range? When you throw that right hand, you should anchor that right foot down. It shouldn't move. It should just pivot. and you should keep your position. And when you throw that right hand, get all your power into it and keep your position. Keep your range. Look at Hart. Look at his feet. He falls in. His feet aren't set. And when he falls in, he's close to Clarkson. The only problem for Clarkson, no problem getting Hart close to him. Clarkson's not doing anything.
You can hear the buzz here in the Mandalay Bay. The fans sensing that Hart is going for the kill here in round 4.
Well, Clarkson has been knocked out once, and he's been on the floor in several fights.
Been knocked down 3 times total has Clarkson. We might be getting number 4 right here, and we do as Samuel Clarkson takes a knee.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You okay?
So here we go, Hart now. Can he finish? He's done it 10 times in his career through 12 fights, 10 knockouts, and again, Clarkson goes down.
5, 6, 7, 8. Keep going.
It's all right hands for Hart, so Clarkson knows the right hand's coming. Forget about that jab. There's a right hand coming. He just hasn't been able to do anything about it.
There is not a 3 knockdown rule here, so Clarkson can get knocked down as many times as he can handle. But I don't know how much more he can take.
Blocking some of those is Clarkson, but Hart's looking to land a clean one.
Hart measuring him up with the left, trying to land the right. That may have been a trip. 17 seconds to go. Can Clarkson survive round 4?
Yeah, he can survive. You know why? If he does survive, Hart falling in, not keeping his range when he punches. He falls in, smothers himself, gets tied up, and that's valuable time for Clarkson.
Have you ever looked for a hotel on?
I did take a look at the first knockdown. Right here you see Hart inside. Not a big punch. You know, he already had him in a little bit of trouble. Second knockdown, again, not a big punch. Right uppercut, got in there on the forehead a little bit, but I think Clarkson a little discombobulated and just overwhelmed.
Well, hard work, Hart. Looking for his 11th professional knockout. That's what he came here to do. Wanted to impress, wanted to shine, wanted to make a statement, and he's got a chance to do it here in round 5 after sending Clarkson to the canvas twice in round 4.
Yeah, and he's looking to make a statement so bad and so hard is Mr. Hart that he cheated a minute ago. The referee didn't quite catch it. Hart put his left hand behind the head of Clarkson.
Low blow. All right?
Warning for a low blow. Hart put his left hand behind the neck, the head of Clarkson, tried to hold him in place, and then throw the right uppercut. I thought that Hart would dominate this fight, said it right from the top. He's dominating, he's looking to get the knockout now. But again, he's
a lot of garbage in this fight as well.
You all right?
Clarkson picking up Hart earlier, a low blow. You mentioned Hart holding behind the head.
I mean, again, Hart, I believe Clarkson is still here because of what Hart's doing wrong. He's falling in with his feet when he throws his punches. And instead of keeping position, keeping distance where he can get extension on his punches, keep that offensive flow going, the offensive flow shuts right down. Kind of like a faucet. You know, the water's running, then the water stops. Look, the water stops. Why? The faucet gets shut off. In this case, Hart falls in too close to keep that flow going. Again, watch the feet of Hart. When he plans to throw that right hand, instead of that right foot staying still and just pivoting where he keeps his position, a lot of times that right foot slides and the body falls in.
In that case, it came completely off the canvas.
Yes. And again, when Hart does fall in, he gives up that height, but just as importantly, gives up that range where he can keep his offense going. Again, too close. Hart's got to learn, a lot to learn from Mr. Hart. He's green behind the ears.
Only 12 professional fights, 24 years old. Was a gold medalist in the 2011 National Championship, so has a good, solid amateur background, but as Teddy mentioned, still a ways to go here.
Yeah, you can see it again, falls in, look at him. Now he's frustrated, he's saying, gee, I got no room to punch. Guess what, son? You're the one who took the room away from yourself.
Following this fight, Bernardo Osuna will be speaking to Timothy Bradley, and then later we'll speak to Manny Pacquiao. We are on the eve of Pacquiao-Bradley 2 over at the MGM Grand. As for us, 5 rounds in the books and our opening contest on Friday Night Fights. Welcome back into the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're getting ready for round 6. Samuel Clarkson versus Jesse Hart. We encourage you to score this fight at home on our Friday Night Fights Facebook page. But I don't think there are many people out there watching now that believe Samuel Clarkson is in the lead. That's just me going out on a limb, Teddy. I apologize if I'm out of place.
I love when you go out on a limb. Man, if there is somebody out there that thinks Clarkson is winning, you know what? Pass some of it over here.
Maybe it's Mr. and Mrs. Clarkson. But other than that, it could be a whitewash for Jesse Hart so far through 5 rounds.
Yeah, whatever they're drinking, I just hope the judges haven't been drinking that. That's my hope. It's always my hope that judges don't drink.
In case you're wondering, Jesse Hart has only been in a 6-round fight once in his career. It was his last fight against Derek Finley. Other than that, his other 11 fights have ended in the 4th round or sooner. So we will watch now and wonder if Hart will perhaps be fatigued, run out of gas, and give an opening for Clarkson.
You know, I talked about Hart. They need to go to the drawing board when they win this fight. If they win this fight, and they're on their way so far, but you never know. I mean, but if he wins this fight, they need to go back, his people, his trainer's father, to the drawing board and look at the way he falls in. And again, cuts off his offense, Hart. He doesn't keep that range. He throws the right hand. Again, look at the foot. Just falls right in. Now, you know, he's in a position where he can't do anything. Well, he put himself in that position. The other thing about him is, I'm wondering if
a right hand, a desperation right hand from Clarkson connects.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Hart is a one-trick pony. Because all I'm seeing is he's looking for right hands. Really, I'm not seeing left hooks. I'm not seeing him do anything off the jab, create things off the jab. I'm not seeing any body work. You know, it's nice to have a dominant punch, don't get me wrong. But I'd like to see diversity. I'd like to see a well-rounded package.
And momentarily, Hart went through the ropes between the top rope and the second rope. The referee separated him. I was going to say, is that a case where Hart hasn't needed to work the body, hasn't needed to show his bag of tricks? It's been working so far, so why change?
No, not really. It's a good point. But I'm looking at a fighter, and I think I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Hart. He looks like a one-dimensional fighter. You know, if he had those other things in his arsenal, he'd show them, especially since the right hand has not gotten Clarkson out of there. If he had other things, another repertoire, other tricks up his sleeve, he'd show it by now. But he's not showing it hard. I don't think he has it.
If you're just joining us, Clarkson did touch the canvas twice in round number 4. But valiantly got to his feet and has hung in there as we get set to enter round 7, a round neither one of these two men has ever seen before.
Trivago.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada. Tomorrow night, Pacquiao-Bradley 2, but we appreciate you tuning in to us. Our opening contest, Jesse Hart taking on Samuel Clarkson. Neither one of these fighters has been in an 8-round fight. The most they fought has been 6 rounds, so a little bit of mystery here, Teddy.
A little bit of good news for Clarkson. He was cut off his left eye by a head class 2 fights ago. That hasn't happened. You got to see the silver lining in the gray cloud.
A ray of sunshine on a cloudy day.
Stop! You know, Hart's the bigger man. I think he's the bigger man anyway. Because while Hart has never been below 165 pounds, looks like he's a solid super middleweight. Clarkson, he's been as low as 154 pounds and 159. So I'm wondering if we're watching right now a true super middleweight in Hart, really versus a guy who really could be a junior middleweight or middleweight in Clarkson.
Teddy, if you're in the corner of Clarkson, you know Hart's just relying on that right hand. What does he need to do now in these last 4.5 minutes to counter and make something happen.
What does who have to do?
Clarkson, knowing that right hand is pretty much the only thing that's coming his way.
Really what he should do is he should slip that right hand. Slip to his left. Make that right hand, and that's a good question. Make that right hand miss. Slip to your left. Just look at it back home, and you can imagine it. The right hand's coming in. It's predictable. You know he's looking for it. You know he's going to throw it. When he throws it, slip to your left, make it miss, and counter with your left hand. And pivot into that left hand. And get everything on it you can, because you need a knockout at this point. Or at least, you need to put him on the floor.
Well, 6 of Clarkson's 10 professional wins have come by way of knockout. Odds are he needs 7 to get a win here tonight against Hart. Here's Teddy Atlas's scorecard thus far. And Teddy has it all for Hart, including the 4th round, a 10-8 round, in which Clarkson went down twice. You at home scoring on our Friday Night Facebook page agree, nearly with 100% in 6 of the 7 rounds scored. All going to Jesse Hard Work Hart. And Jesse, I think it's safe to say, has had to put in a little more hard work than he thought tonight against Samuel Clarkson, a big underdog.
Again, he paid a little price almost. Hart. He fell in. They need to look at the film in this fight, him and his father. He fell in with that right hand. He got too close to Clarkson, and Clarkson was able to fire back.
If shaving is a pain.
You know, I've been talking about how Hart has hurt himself a little bit. Watch the right foot. He gets in. He also gets too close right here. He gets in. Instead of being under control, he gets in too close. But the right foot, it's not set. It's not solid. And here, once again, that right foot, it moves up. It goes parallel. It's not anchored. And he falls in, squares up with Clarkson. Doesn't keep that range, keep that position, and doesn't keep any distance. Whereas I've been saying all night, he can keep that offense going.
Seems to me almost like a power hitter in baseball. He's got to plant that back foot to get any sort of drive on a home run shot.
Yeah, on the first replay, really what was happening was he was closing the gap behind the jab, was Hart. And as he was getting close, he didn't control himself. He let himself get too close. He fell in. But on the second one, you can see that right foot. Again, doesn't set it there. Perfect example right there. I mean, that right foot is flying.
A nice little footnote trivia for you. Jesse Hardwork Hart's first ever professional fight was almost 2 years ago, and it was on the Bradley Pacquiao 1 undercard. So here he is tonight in his 13th fight, a day before Bradley Pacquiao 2.
That was great.
You like that?
Footnote. Tremendous.
And again, you will hear from Timothy Bradley immediately following this fight as Bernardo Osuna sits down with both fighters tonight.
Come on, punch out, guys.
You know, following with your lead, my friend.
A footnote? You got a footnote for me?
Yeah, maybe. You know, the trainer of Hart, his father, needs to put his foot down.
Well done.
Thank you.
A minute 20 to go here for Clarkson to pull out a magic bullet if he's got one anywhere. It also helped to have a gun.
And again, you know, you asked the right question 2 rounds ago. What could Clarkson do to pull this fight really out of the fire? And again, he knows one thing. The bad news, he's losing. He's getting hit with right hands here and there. But the good news, he knows the right hand's always coming from Hart. You know, he needs to stay in that box. You were talking about a baseball player earlier. You got to stay in that box. You got to wait for the ball to come. You don't swing too soon. You wait for the curveball. You swing. You get it around at the last second. You swing too soon. You're out of position. Well, that's what Clarkson has to do. Wait till just wait, and then when the right hand's coming, slip. See, he didn't slip quite enough, but slip over to your left, and then there should be a space because the right hand of Hart will miss, and then you got an opportunity to land your left hand.
Hart wanted to impress tonight. Has he done it, Teddy?
He's dominated, but he hasn't impressed me. I mean, I like the size of him. You know, he's got some oomph in the right hand. You know, I like his body. I mean, he's tall, he's long, he's rangy, but he's got to learn to use it better.
So not the way that Hart wanted to win, but he'll take the win here in Las Vegas tonight against Samuel Clarkson. It was a dominating, if not spectacular, performance from the Philadelphian, as he will most likely improve to 13-0. And let's look at some highlights of this fight, Teddy. And certainly the big moments were the knockdowns to Samuel Clarkson.
Yeah, any big moment that's going to come from Hart, I think we learned from tonight. It's going to come from the right hand. And those big moments, as you can see right there with the big right uppercut, came with the right hand. There's another right uppercut, delayed reaction. But again, I think part of it is the accumulation of punches that really did the damage to Clarkson, and he just got beaten down. He just knew he was in with a better guy.
Give Clarkson some credit for hanging in there, showing some courage. It's tough to get off the canvas not once but twice, and then finish the fight for another 3.5 rounds.
Yeah, correct.
So our opening contest in the book still to come tonight. It is our main event. Undefeated Mexican prospect. A lot of hype around Gilberto Ramirez. He'll be taking on Giovanni Lorenzo, a veteran in the middleweight and super middleweight division. As for the official announcement on this fight, we send it into the ring now. Lupe Contreras.
Ladies and gentlemen, after completing the scheduled 8 rounds, the official scorecard reads as follows. All 3 judges turned in identical scorecards of 80-70 in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. And now, the NABF Junior Super Middleweight Champion, still undefeated, Jesse Hard Work Hart.
No surprise there, as Hart remains undefeated now. Wanted a knockout, but he'll take a unanimous decision, which included 2 knockdowns in round number 4. When we return, we will hear from Timothy Bradley as he gets set for the biggest fight of his life, Manny Pacquiao Part 2, tomorrow night. It's a big fight weekend in Vegas tomorrow night. Pacquiao, Bradley 2. Pacquiao looking for redemption. Bradley looking to leave no doubt. To help get us ready, we send it up now to Bernardo Osuna. Good evening, Bernardo.
Good evening, Todd. And earlier this week, I had a chance to speak with both fighters. I sat down with Timothy Bradley on Wednesday, and he was very candid about all he has been through since they first fought 22 months ago. Some of it was good, like his Fight of the Year victory over Ruslan Provodnikov, or his big win over one of the best fighters of this generation, Juan Manuel Marquez. But some of it was very bad and very painful. Let's take a listen.
When you think about the low point, I mean, you've said you thought about taking your own life after the first fight.
Oh, yeah.
And to see where you are today, take us through the journey.
Ah, man, just imagine just getting beat down every single day, man, from the media, becoming a laughingstock of dude, it was months and months of just humiliation. Walking down the street, people yelling at you, you didn't win that fight, you suck, boo, you know, flipping you off. I mean, dude, I got the whole 9. It was like I stole something from the whole world. I was like, dude, I didn't do anything but just fight. Why are you guys freaking ridiculing me? I didn't do anything. You don't like the decision, take it up with the judges.
So what needs to be different to leave no doubt the second time around against Manny?
Get the pillows ready. Get the pillows ready, man. MGM better have a pillow by the ringside. We got to knock him out. That's what we need, man. We need a knockout. Man, that's what we need. We need a knockout, man. I'm praying to the power of the boxing gods. Please give me a knockout. I want to knock this dude out, man. Leave no doubt. That's what we need. That's what the fans need. That's what I need.
What's the difference in Tim Bradley that fought Pacquiao in 2012 and the one who steps in the ring today?
Well, I wasn't experienced the first time around. I didn't have that big fight experience. It was a lot of media. It was different. It was completely different. Not a lot of people knew me then, and you know, my nerves was up. Didn't know what to expect. That was the difference.
What worked for you the first time around, and what more can you exploit the second time around?
My movement was what helped me in the first fight. Manny wasn't that aggressive. At times he was, but, you know, I had good defense, great defense in that fight, which the judges saw. Great defense. You know, he wasn't hitting me, man. You know, a lot of people, he's hitting me. You know, when they showing the clippings and stuff on the replays and all that, it's the same clip, different replay, different angle, different angle. Same punch, different angle. He didn't hit me a whole lot.
Tim, when I look in your eyes, I see supreme confidence.
Yeah.
When you've looked into Manny's eyes, what do you see?
I don't know. He's just happy. Manny's just happy. Nothing affect him. Nothing. It may, but he doesn't show it. He's so compassionate and loving. It's like it's so hard to read him, you know, because he's always the same. He's always happy, cheerful, Manny Pacquiao.
You know, you only got 12 knockouts in 31 fights.
Oh, man, I know. That's the beauty about it.
How's it gonna happen?
That's the beauty about it. That's the beauty about it. I only got 12 knockouts.
You need 13 bad.
Oh, man. With Manny Pacquiao's on it. With the name on the Manny Pacquiao, that knockout. Yeah, that's what I need. I know people might laugh at me, and they like, but you know what? I believe that anything is possible, man. Even with 12 knockouts. A punch that you don't see and then land in the right spot at the right time can end your night like that.
This is a big fight, and when you take a look at the knockout numbers, it's 12 knockouts and 31 career victories for Tim Bradley, and Manny Pacquiao has 26 more knockouts than his opponent at 38. So that's a lot to ask for Tim Bradley, but we'll see what happens when they meet in the ring once again. And talking about big fights, May 10th, Heavyweight Championship Boxing returns to ESPN from the Galen Center at the University of Southern California, where Berman Stavern will look to become the first Haitian world heavyweight champion, taking on Chris Arreola, who will try to make history himself, becoming the first Mexican-American to win the heavyweight crown. We're now joined by Berman Stavern, who trains here in Las Vegas. You beat him once last April. How can you beat him again with so much at stake?
Pretty much, like I said before, it's pretty much go out there and execute what I did in the past. And right now we're trying to do this, trying to do it better than we did the first time.
You know, that was almost a year ago, and you dropped him in the third round, but you didn't finish him. Is there any adjustments that he can make to revert the situation and beat you?
Well, everybody think that I didn't want to finish him, but the plan of what we had planned was not to knock him out. Like I said before, I actually went out of my way in the 12th round and tried to knock him out, but it didn't work. But the plan we had was not to knock him out because of my shoulder injury. I'm 100% better right now, so it's going to be different fights.
The words "and new heavyweight champion" will be said by the ring announcer that night. What does it mean to you to be part of this new American branch of heavyweights who will bring the title back home?
I'll be glad to be able to accomplish something that's this big, to be able to bring back the title to America. That's it means a whole lot to me. It means the world to me.
You'll have your chance on May 10th on our air as Heavyweight Championship Boxing returns to ESPN. The fight will take place at the Galen Center. Berman Stavern takes on Chris Arreola for the title that was left vacant by Vitaly Klitschko. Do not miss the big boys, the heavyweights, back on our air on ESPN on May 10th. And coming up next from the Mandalay Bay, we'll have some more Friday night fights, but also my conversation with Manny Pacquiao. Don't miss it.
And cannot wait. Tomorrow night over at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, it's Pacquiao Bradley 2. Just moments ago, we heard from Timothy Bradley. What does Manny Pacquiao have to say? For more on that, we send it back up to Bernardo Osuna.
You know, Tim Bradley said it best when he said, when I look at Manny Pacquiao's eyes, I can't read them. All I see is a smile and a guy who's very happy. But he needs to change that once he steps into the ring. And that has been on the mind of both Freddie Roach, his longtime trainer, and Tim Bradley. They question, can he still be hungry? Can he still have that devastating knockout power that we have not seen since he last knocked out Miguel Cotto in 2009? I asked Manny, what do you have to prove?
To prove that I'm really the winner of the first one, and also to get it back the belt.
Confidence-wise, where are you?
My confidence level is... my feeling right now is I feel like when I start boxing, you know, and I have a break for championship, that's my feeling. I'm excited and is happy for this chance. So that's my feeling. I feel like when I start boxing, that's my feeling right now. So that's why I'm always saying that I'm excited for Saturday.
Freddie, he's been saying that for the last few fights. He wants that Manny Pacquiao back. He wants that version of Manny Pacquiao that runs through guys, that beats guys down. Is that Manny Pacquiao still possible to see in the ring?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do, to prove that my journey will continue. By God's grace, Jesus' name, I can do all things, who strengthens me, and this fight is really important, that I can prove that I can still fight.
What do you say to those people who believe that you've lost your desire?
Well, that's what I'm trying to prove this fight. It's helped me a lot on that words, because while during the training, I always think about that, and I have to, you know, to work hard to prove that I have still have the desire and the aggressiveness and the killer instinct. I'm not predicting for this fight, but if the knockout comes, will come, and I have to grab that opportunity to finish the fight if he give me if there's a chance. I mean, but my focus is to give a good fight, throwing a lot of punches, and be aggressive in the ring, and to make the people happy.
The last time Manny Pacquiao went for the knockout, he got clipped by Juan Manuel Marquez and he was put to sleep. Then, against Brandon Rios, he had his chances in Macau and he didn't go in for the kill. Will he do that against Timothy Bradley, or is the compassionate Manny what we'll see from here on out? The tale of the tape between these two fighters shows that they are extremely even when it comes to weight. Only a half-pound difference, but well below the welterweight limit. That means they're going for speed. In age, a 5-year age difference in favor of Timothy Bradley, and experience 30 more fights for Manny Pacquiao and 26 more knockouts for Manny Pacquiao. But at the end, we will see what version of Tim Bradley we see and what version of Manny Pacquiao shows up on Saturday night. I'm sure one man's got his pick ready to go. That's Teddy Atlas, who's sitting ringside with Todd Grisham.
That's right, Bernardo. Here in Las Vegas, Manny Pacquiao is about a 2.5-to-1 favorite. Teddy, if you were a gambling man, who would you be putting your money on?
Bradley. I just think he's in a better place right now than Pacquiao is. You know, both these guys have changed dramatically since the last time they were in the ring. I mean, we already know about Pacquiao. Obviously, he was knocked out cold, face first. People had to wake him up and tell him where he was. That is traumatic. That is dramatic. When that happens, sometimes you never recover from that. And it's not just about only where you lose your kill instinct and all those words they're using. Really, it's about confidence, but it's about dependability. Can you depend on yourself? Can you believe in yourself? Do you know if you're okay? you've been knocked out cold like that, a fighter doesn't know if he's okay. I'm not sure that Pacquiao knows if he's okay. And Bradley, well, he almost got knocked out. He got to the cliff. He didn't go over the cliff, though, with Provodnikov, but I think he got the memo. He learned what he is and what he isn't, and he showed that in the Marquez fight. Stayed on the outside, box, uses legs, controlled range, uses speed, uses intellect, uses jab, and he set traps, and he won a decision. That's the Bradley that has to be in there against Pacquiao, and Pacquiao, with everyone pushing the envelope to be aggressive, that could hurt him, because then he gets a little bit reckless, and then if you box on the outside like Bradley showed us against Marquez that he can do, you can set traps, you can take what he gives you, you can counter, and you can win a fight. Bradley wins the fight.
It will happen tomorrow night, right across the street at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Maybe we should ask Ruslan Provodnikov who he thinks is going to win. He's sitting ringside. Maybe we'll try and get that done. Provodnikov, a training partner with Manny Pacquiao, and as Teddy mentioned, he nearly beat Timothy Bradley a few months ago. All right, coming up next, it's our main event featuring the Mexican sensation, undefeated prospect, Gilberto Ramirez.